Death Spiral, the only anime podcast that has 160 gigs of partitioned wetware memory filled to the brim with Anime Girl Skyrim mods.
You know, people make fun of me, but when the end times come, we're going to be thankful for our data hoarding ways. People need to see these Skyrim mods, especially the sexy ones, to lift their spirits in the post-apocalypse.
What I really like about chopping off half my brain to turn it into a wetware partition digital memory is that my skull is immune to electromagnetic pulses. So even though I no longer have coordination, reaction speed,
depth perception,
there are parts of my emotions that are now stunted permanently. At least I will always have 160 gigs of consistent memory access that is mostly filled up with anime girl mods for my favorite video games.
Skyrim being one of them. I know how much you love it.
I love Skyrim. I play it all the time.
He's a big Skyrim guy.
My fellow millennials know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, what's up? Hey, remember those sick Skyrim raps that came out in 2011? Remember how that was just a thing that everybody was doing?
What's up, Dovahkiin, right?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Dragon speak runes? What was it?
I think they're runes, right? Brands?
Brand. The brand of dragon sacrifice.
Dragon brand. That actually sounds pretty cool. That sounds pretty metal.
Hey,
yeah.
What is the timeline on the GTA 5 to Skyrim release? Is GTA 6 going to come out on a shorter timescale than Elder Scrolls 6?
I know exactly when Skyrim came out because I ditched a friend's birthday party to go wait in line at GameStop to pick up my pre-release copy.
Really, I hope at this point in your life you're mature enough to reflect back on that and realize that it's a real not good move.
Hey, you know what? I stand by it. No regrets.
Even now.
Hey, friends come and go, but Skyrim, that's forever, apparently.
Okay, so when did it come out then?
Okay, when did GTA 5 come out? Let's see here.
GTA 5 came out in 2013, if you can believe that.
Okay, so that is
long time ago.
Skyrim was 2011. That's a 2-year gap, essentially. September 2013, November 2011. Never forget. And so 2 years, and we have no clear date. We have no clear date in sight of when a Elder Scrolls 6 is going to come out. Bethesda has vaguely said that, yeah, it's a project that we are devoting resources to, but that is about it, period. We are at best probably 3 to 5 years away at this moment from a Elder Scrolls 6 game.
As soon as they saw that Starfield was flopping hard,
Oh yeah.
I think they were like, okay, hold on. Okay, wait, no, kick up the timeline.
No, but then the Fallout show did good. And so now they're switching gears again. They're people like Fallout. Let's devote more resources to doing new seasons of Fallout 76. And maybe even a Fallout 5 ? Before Elder Scrolls 6, if you can believe it. I know they said that they want to alternate on game releases between Fallout and Elder Scrolls, but I think that they're just going to follow the greenbacks, man. I think
this is an interesting confluence of all three of these projects because GTA Online has taken up most of Rockstar's attention this entire time. Something I have zero interest in, but seemingly is massive for some reason that I will never understand. Hey, you gotta get
those shark cards, man. Gotta get those shark cards.
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But also fucking Skyrim Online is a thing. And
Elder Scrolls Online. Elder Scrolls Online is a thing. Get it right.
Sorry, Elder Scrolls Online. And Fallout Online, basically, is a thing. It's wild that they've just identified these bizarre revenue streams. And like now I see too, this is the stuff that I just do not understand about modern life, I guess. Old man stuff. But like now when I go onto Steam and I look at Steam comments under games, every single one of them has a guy that's like, add multiplayer to this.
I don't get it.
This game's cool, but add multiplayer. It's like, what are you fucking talking about?
Well, I understand where you're coming from. I'm surprised that you're not advocating on the other side a little bit more, because to my understanding, you don't like single player games all that much.
I love single player games. I do not want to interact with strangers ever again on the internet. I don't want to do that.
Okay.
You know, what's great about this podcast is nobody talks back to us. That's like the best part. I get to just monologue and nobody interrupts me. Well, except you.
Yeah, except you're trapped in a box with me.
Yeah, I could take one person, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it either. I'm with you on that. I want to interact with as few people as possible in real life, like on just a day-to-day like existence kind of thing. You know, why would I want to do it in a computer game where I'm trying to have fun? I don't get it. I personally only play single player games and only ones that tell me how much of a good, awesome, strong boy that I am. See, that's really what I'm in it for, is the self-aggrandizement and validation that you can only really get from a single-player game.
I don't necessarily need to be the ultimate strong good boy in a video game. I'm okay with being the small weak boy, but I don't want to be the small weak boy within a field of anonymous other small weak boys. That's not what I'm interested in.
No, I took one look at Rust one time when I was like thinking about giving something like that a try, and I just looked at videos online and I'm like, no, this is the worst that video games could possibly be.
Well, that one in particular seems like actually like very rancid. I know, I get the appeal. I mean, we were just talking about how I have this horrible brain disease where I actually wanted to try playing Arc Raiders because there's like a thing in there that appeals to me. But again, it's the like interacting with the faceless strangers part that holds me back.
Uh-huh.
But like, yeah, that one and stuff like some of the other like big ass sandbox like survival games. You know, I've been playing Stalker and Stalker S games again, as I want to do.
You always go back to it.
And like Escape from Tarkov is so fucking rancid. It's such an evil game. It's like so awful. Even if everyone on the servers weren't cheating constantly, it's just so fucking awful that you have to play with other people. Terrible. And then the idea that making every game...
Escape from Tarkov in particular, that you're playing with other people that are cheating, you know. At that point, cheating is the game.
Even if they weren't cheating. It's just like terrible. It's just terrible. And the idea that there are people out there who want to spread that to every fucking game ever is like, it's terrifying. I want to be alone. Leave me the fuck alone. That being said, dude, I do like beating people.
See, there it is. There's the drawback. You like beating people. I don't give a shit, honestly. I've never won a competition in my life. I've long ago excised that part of my soul that would ever like, you know, strive to like want to be better than someone else.
I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that for a second, because you very obviously believe you are better than lots of people.
Well, no, that's different. I know that I am like inherently I am just inherently better than a lot of people. I know that.
You like being better than people without trying.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
You don't want to have to prove it. You want to just kind of intrinsically know that you're better than other people.
Yeah, you know, just like people kind of recognize your presence, your aura. You just kind of give off a certain vibe and people know like, oh yeah, that's the guy. Oh man, he's way better than me. That's what I'm really striving for.
I can't believe you'd say that after it's been definitively proven on our Halloween episode. The vibe you put out is exactly the fucking anime dude you're trying not to be. You know it's true.
Don't bring that up.
It's true. You know you've had it proven in public.
To this day, to date, that is still like one of the most like soul touching moments of my life, and not in a good way.
It haunts you.
It haunts me. I was cut to the bone with that one.
It's wild. It's wild. Nothing like that has ever happened to me, I gotta say.
No. People,
I say with pride.
People get a different impression from you.
Yeah, and it's not anime podcast guy, thank God.
And when you tell them that you have an anime podcast, they go, huh, you? They say it just like that. They go, huh?
What do you mean? What do you mean when?
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, are we not supposed to be telling people about this show?
You know, I prefer not to. I did tell somebody that you made me watch the Musume movie to talk about it on this episode in particular. And they asked me why anyone would do that ever willingly. And it did make me question, like, why did I do that? Nate, why did I do that?
Okay, well, I guess that is a good enough transition into...
I'm still confused why I bothered
last
to
week's
do that.
homework assignment. Well, you know, there are a couple reasons. I, for one, just kind of wanted to watch it because I like watching animated things, and you know, like I said last time, it's pulling numbers.
But why this?
Well, why this specifically is because I know that you really hate Musume, and I thought it'd be funny to make you watch the movie. I'm going to put this out here up front before we really get into it. I think I liked it. I think that I liked it.
Wow.
And I know it's been kind of like a going bit on this show. My affection and bafflement at Musume, just like conceptually as a property, as a franchise, it has a lot of things that I find, you know, morally repugnant and, you know, both visually and just kind of like narratively off-putting. But I think that in terms of anime, as an anime, it kind of spans a big spectrum in the field that it's in. And this particular entry, I think I kind of liked. I think I kind of liked it.
Well, we do have a fundamental difference here, being that you have watched auxiliary Musume content.
Okay, well, let me answer that and tell you exactly what I've watched. I have watched one episode of the mainline Musume anime, which there are 3 seasons of now. I watched way back. We talked about that on an episode, you know, long time ago, and I was not brought in by it at all. I don't get it. I don't get. And in fact, you know, that's not a great phrasing. I'm incredibly uncomfortable with idol culture. And so the fact that these horse girls are competing to, you know, basically get chosen as an idol, that's like their end goal. That is incredibly off-putting to me, and I don't like it, which is the main focus of the mainline Musume anime. Special Week's story is her trying to become a national idol through racing. I have watched the first half of Cinderella Grey, which came out last season, and that one I think I also enjoyed quite a bit because that is the more...
God damn it.
Hey, you asked. It's the more comedy-focused one. I think that it had some good jokes. And also, like, when the animation goes off in that one, it really goes off. They are not preoccupied, for the most part, with doing the, like, cutesy horse girl idol thing. It is, like, a straight-up sports anime. Which is the same approach that this movie took. In
a way.
So I've seen 12 episodes of Cinderella Grey and this movie. That is my big, catalog of Uma Musume stuff. I have not played the game. I've not, watched a majority of the things that are out there.
Sure. Well, my experience is that I have ridden a horse.
Well, that sounds horrifying. Have you ever been in the presence? Well, obviously you've been in the presence of a real horse.
Yes.
They're awful animals. Why would you ever get next to a real one? They are like mutant devil beasts.
They are, in their own way, quite unpleasant. It's true. At the time, I was young and naive. I did not yet have the ability to make decisions for myself on a rational basis, or the ability to think through and understand that horses don't like being ridden.
But they do like running.
They don't. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know if they like running.
I think that we've
it's a weird thing to say.
I think that we've pretty much concluded that horses do in fact like running because they do that even when nobody tells them to. That's just a thing that they do on their own.
But like, do fish like swimming?
Yeah.
Oh, you think so? Definitively.
Well, yeah.
You think they do
Well,
like
you
it?
think a dolphin doesn't like swimming?
I think a dolphin is probably not particularly cognizant of like moving its body in a way that propels itself.
Oh, no, I think you're wrong. They're smart. They're really smart,
Maybe jumping. Like the jumping does seem joyous.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. Blowing water out of their disgusting hole.
Well, jumping is a type of swimming that you...
Jumping is a type of swimming.
Yeah, jumping is a type of swimming.
Well, so that's my experience, is I have actually sat astride a majestic destrier and galloped in the sunset. That's about as close to Uma Musume as I've gotten. Oh, well, besides also that, and here comes declarative statement 1 on this movie. This is stealing the essence of the Animatrix segment, the runner.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Runner's High. This is just stealing that.
There's a big crossover.
All of its juice comes from that fucking Animatrix short. Mm-hmm. It kind of makes me like a little bit mad that they're just taking that fucking thing. But whatever.
Well, if you're gonna steal from the best. That's always been the rule.
It's true. Steal from the best. And at some point in history, everything just becomes fodder for the next thing. I get it. I get it. But seeing this thing that in the Animatrix was mind-boggling and groundbreaking, just being mulched up and fed into the Uma Musume machine, it did rub me the wrong way. I can't lie. I have to start there because like right off the bat, we were in a place where I'm like a little annoyed, right?
No, I get it. When you're watching something, you don't want to be reminded of something. You don't want to be reminded of the better version of it. I get it.
Yeah. So that's okay. So baseline, I am there that, running is not novel to Uma Musume. And running in a particular way that is depicted here is not novel to Uma Musume because they are ripping off the Runner's High thing from Animatrix. And there's another Animatrix Runner's High short, or I don't think it's called Runner's High. I don't remember. But the connection there, and I don't know if maybe you weren't thinking about this, probably not. But, the guy who made the Runner's High short is the guy who made Redline.
I was not thinking about that at all. But now that you point it out, yeah, okay.
And you very clearly said that this was, according to people that you saw talking about it, was giving them Redline vibes, which is the second thing I want to address. This does not give Redline vibes. It's not like Redline at all.
After watching the movie, that may have been an exaggeration. I'm willing to concede on that point. But, counterpoint, it is a fairly well-animated movie. Like, it was visually pleasing to watch for me, the racing sequence, and the way that they express, like, speed, particularly in how these people moved. I did like that. I was I am easily wowed by shiny colors and pretty pictures. What can I say?
I was not offended by the animation. I think there was some particularly interesting and clever things done in the portrayal of certain scenes. I would say overall, there is a little bit too much cute anime girls doing cute anime girl things in between the segments that were interesting. And that's a lot of downtime that just does not appeal to me in any way. So it really felt like the entire project would ground to a halt every once in a while.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yes, the running, there are parts of the running that were particularly visually interesting and inventive, and points for them. You got to do that. You ultimately you have to make the running interesting to look at in an anime about running.
Because that's the point of this. That's the point of the show.
Yeah, that is the point. So I would say on the most fundamental level of this anime movie, I think they are successful in that one particular
By the way,
regard.
because we haven't stated the full title of the movie yet, we are talking about Uma Musume Pretty Derby: Beginning of a New Era, the movie.
Beginning of a New Era. Now, does that mean that these are going to be the characters in the show moving forward? I don't really understand.
I believe that is the implication. This is the new era, or the beginning of it, at the very least.
At least the beginning of it.
At least the beginning, I'm not exactly sure. I know that in the general, space that canon exists regarding Uma Musume, it's all supposed to be loosely based off of actual Japanese derby horse racing history, like the arcs that these characters go through both in the app, I guess, and in the anime are supposed to roughly, imitate the careers of the actual horses that they're named after. That's my understanding.
How weird.
I know.
What a strange thing.
It's a strange thing. The more I looked into this, there is a big faction, a very big faction of Uma Musume fans who are in it because they just genuinely are fascinated by, and I use this term loosely, the sport of horse racing and its history and stuff surrounding that.
Yeah.
And obviously that is a huge consideration for some reason for the people making, these things, these products. And so that's not why I'm into it. I think that's actually quite boring. And I think, like you said yesterday, when we were talking about this, nothing is going to change the fact that horse racing, just as a concept, is loser shit.
It sucks. It is loser shit.
It sucks and it's bad and it's for weirdos.
Yeah. You know what this is historically the biggest social impact of horse racing is demonstrating that someone's deadbeat dad has lost their life savings again. That is where horse racing and real life converge. In most narratives.
Why aren't you eating dinner, Timmy? Dad's at the horse track again.
Dad's drunk at the track. That is what horse racing is at its very core. And the fact that, of course, it has been shackled to a fucking gambling app for children, it's no small irony. That's all I'm saying there, The core of Uma Musume itself is rancid, truly evil. In an era of rising evil all around us, specifically centered around gambling, this thing is truly insidious. And the connection to real world horses is the thing that strengthens that particular aspect of it too, because these are the horses that did lose people their own fucking life savings, we don't have unfortunately, we don't have a Secretariat or a Seabiscuit in the movie. But if we did, we would know for a fact that part of those horses' legends is that people fucking lost their children's milk money over that shit. We know that. We know that happened. Though I would have really I think this movie would have been better if Secretariat and Seabiscuit were in it. I will just say that, just on a base level.
Well, I mean, they would be like 80 years old, you know?
Yeah, but this is an isekai where the horses die and become anime girls, right? So what does it matter?
It's true. You know what? You have a point there. They could have.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I think that, well, okay, so my understanding is that all of the horses are specifically named after, you know, horses competing in the Japanese Derby. So maybe that explains why Seabiscuit or Secretariat never showed up as in Uma.
That would be one explanation. But at the end of this movie, not to jump ahead, they do specifically say that they are competing against international horses.
Well, yeah, but international horses competing in a Japanese competition, I think, is, you know,
Sure.
let's not split hairs on the details of the Uma Musume movie. There's enough to cover as it is.
Okay. Well, then let's talk about the movie itself, the actual content of the movie, because there are some. I did not like this movie.
Okay, you didn't like it. I think that generally I did enjoy it, and I think that maybe a good place to start is to me just put it out there. I was viewing this movie as much as I could, divorced from the concept of Uma Musume, because I wanted to judge it as what it really is trying to be, which is a combination like sports, martial arts kind of coming of age story.
Sure.
Well, okay. If we remove the horse girls, remove, you know, everything about horse racing, and it's just a movie about track and field, you know, we'll go back to the runner's high comparison.
Yeah.
If it's just about track and field, does that change anything fundamentally about the arcs that the characters go through?
It absolutely does, because like I brought up when I was watching it to you, the guy who made Orb on the Movements of the Earth, his other manga that is being adapted as we speak is a track and field running movie. And so we are going to be able to do a direct comparison very soon.
Well, when that comes out, I look forward to doing that.
Yes. But that, I mean, in general, track and field is treated a little bit differently because it's not, first of all, track and field is not a particularly spectatory type sport. It's collegiate, you know? If you make it to like,
you think it's more dignified than horse racing?
if you make it to, I don't know, the Olympics, maybe, like then you're getting into a spectator sport. But again, like runners, you know, a couple people accepted Usain Bolt or whatever, right? Runners are not really idols. They don't become idols. And also a lot of it is focused on college, you know, it's like a real college sport is like when people are doing this stuff. The people who make it past college are people who are like kind of superhuman or psychotic.
Well, those are the two posited character types in, and this actually brings me to another point against Uma Musume. I don't like the horse names. I think the horse names are dumb and weird.
Jungle Pocket.
Jungle Pocket is our main character, and she is trying to beat
that.
She is trying to beat Agnes Tachyon, who is the sadistic glasses mad scientist Uma Musume.
Well, I wish she was sadistic. She could be much more sadistic, and I would be happy. She is not particularly sadistic.
She's not. I mean, she says some mean things at one point. Like that wasn't cool, you know.
I guess.
She is the cold, you know, kind of psychotic coded. She's got crazy eyes. That's like her thing, you know.
Occasionally, yeah.
Yeah, she's got the crazy eyes.
You've got Dance Flame. You've got Cafe.
Manhattan Cafe, yeah.
Manhattan Cafe, and she drinks coffee just to really drive home the literality
and
of it.
she always looks tired. She has bags under her eyes all the time.
It seems like she has cholera or something.
Yeah.
She has a touch of the consumption.
There's the reigning champion, Tio Opera.
Yes. Weird, weird names, but, horse names or whatever. I think if we are treating these as literal racehorses, they could have chosen the weirder names. Personally, I think some of the weirder horse names are much funnier than these.
I don't get why they don't just name every horse She's the Fastest.
Fastest horse.
I bet on She's the Fastest. The fastest one. Hey, do you think the Uma Musume's could beat the Flash?
Maybe the reverse Flash.
But yeah, so the basic story is a sports story is what I was trying to get at. It is about trying to overcome a rival at a thing that you're passionate about, which is very anime, very very like sports shonen coded, and I think if we're just looking at it in those terms, I think that at the bare minimum, it's set out and accomplished what it set out to do.
Sure. By the way, I think one of the characters should have been named Crucifix. Or Handsome Champ.
Why didn't they have a literal dark horse candidate? Huh?
Or Rare Brick.
Well,
or the Tetrarch. I fucking love these stupid ass horse names. Some of these are really good. The Tetrarch. Precocious would have been a great, genuinely would have been a great name for one of these horses. Golden Fleece. There probably is. Yeah, I don't know the grand stretch of Uma Musume. I bet some of these actually are. And, Agnes Tachyon is a real horse.
They're all real horses. They're all real horse names.
They're all real horses.
I think my favorite,
Reza Native.
if we're just going by names, I think Vodka. There's a horse whose name is just Vodka, and I think that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Army Mule is a really good horse name.
Air Messiah,
yeah. Rainbow Quest. It's a good one.
Yep.
The Seattle Slough. Gulfstream. There's just I don't know. We could have gotten wackier with this shit.
I agree, and like I said, I think just in general, the horse names are very silly, and they definitely take away from any kind of gravitas the story is trying to impart upon the audience about these characters.
And they know that because the main character right off the bat they start calling her Poke.
Yeah. Well, you gotta have a cute, easy to remember nickname. No one's gonna go around calling her Jungle Pocket the entire time.
Yeah, because it's dumb. It's a dumb name, and no person would answer to that name.
Agnes Tachyon, is Tachyon her last name? I don't know how that works.
Tachyon.
Tachyon.
She gives her big speech about tachyon particles. It's like, oh my God, get over yourself. Jesus Christ. It is a sports movie. Yes, that's basically it. But it subverts sports movies in a lot of really unsettling ways. The thrust of this movie, at least part of it, because it becomes at almost exactly the halfway point, it completely loses the plot. It does not know what to do, and it reverts into kind of just a mush of tangled sports cliches that makes the first half of the movie basically irrelevant, which pisses me off. Because when I was finding this movie online to stream, I noticed that a lot of people were posting negative reviews who said that they were Uma Musume fans. And they said, this movie, I don't like it because it feels like it betrays Uma Musume fans. And that immediately made my expectations rise. Like, oh, thank God, the fans don't like this. I think maybe I will. And that's because the first half of this movie is really unsettling. It brings a really dark and weird tone, which is the thing that got continued to raise my expectations. Because the first half of the movie establishes a story about race horses that is the part that I want explored in this universe, which is the part where everybody goes well, what about in cars? Why do they have steering wheels, right? That kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Because Agnes Tachyon is portrayed as a scientist at the beginning of the movie who is not interested in racing as a sport. She is interested in the physiology of horse girls and the expansion of their physical capabilities through science.
Okay,
that is a thing that is very clearly stated at the beginning of the movie, and that leads to horse doping. That is clearly where we were heading toward at the beginning of the movie. The girl literally carries around vials of liquid. She is a horse doper, and she is a scientist creating horse doping. That could not have been clearer at the beginning of the movie, right?
Okay, so we're in agreement. We're in agreement in what we liked about this particular segment of the film is that, okay, I said before that my least interesting part about Uma Musume as a franchise is the connection to idol culture. And for 90% of this movie, that is completely ignored. They do not talk about it, which I really appreciated. And especially in the first half where it is going into details of, you know, we have Jungle Pocket's story, which is about her wanting to become a better racer. She wants to push herself physically to the absolute limit of what she can achieve, which is like, you know, bog standard sports movie motivation. I want to be the best.
Yeah.
And like you said, Agnes Tachyon, her motivation is not with being the best in like a sports competition kind of sense, but trying to figure out what is the literal, like, what can we push the physiology of a horse girl to?
Yeah.
What is the absolute upper limit? What is peak horse girl? And I find that their relationship and rivalry born out of the mixing and like, you know, clashing of those two ideals, I found that to be very interesting and compelling as character motivations.
Yes.
You know, particularly in a sports movie. An
interesting dynamic.
It's an interesting dynamic.
It's an interesting dynamic, and the clash between a traditional, naive, like anime protagonist with a deeply sinister and weird, like anti-sports anime character is a fascinating subversion of the entire genre, which could have been fucking great. Not just because it subverts the horse girl thing and explores it in a weird way, but in sports anime in general, somebody who is like, I am going to introduce doping into the anime sports world is fucking awesome. It's like that episode of Blackjack where they were creating the superhero athletes, but they would immediately die of cancer, right? You remember that one?
Yeah. I like that. I think that's cool, you know? Now we have that established. You say at the halfway point is when we kind of switch on that. And are you referring to the scene where Agnes Tachyon decides to quit racing?
No, it's a little bit further on, because that is a really interesting point of the movie where, again, I guess I'm going to spend most of this talking about the movie I wanted this to be, because that's just how I interact with media most of the time. The movie is set up, like I said, between the naive, regular anime sports girl and the nefarious, like, character who exists, like, outside of the bounds of the sports anime genre, clashing together. And the first part of the movie is that character psychologically manipulating and grooming the naive anime horse girl into becoming a willing participant of her doping program. And when she quits, she first establishes that she is like on a fundamental level better than all the other horse girls at racing. And that is step one of her plan. Step two is breaking the mind of the main character by telling her that she's not even that interested in running or winning, which is fundamentally against what seems to be the concept and canon explanation of horse girls in general, is that, and here's the next weird part, right? That they are like biologically determined to want to win races. That is something that is stated multiple times in this movie, that they...
Yes, the concept that seeing another Musume run real good, like, sparks this instinctual desire to also want to run real good.
And win races. And the one horse racing girl who is really, really fucking good, turning around and saying, I don't actually give a shit about beating you guys. I don't care, is fucking it's kind of awesome, right? And it's the great next step in the story, right? Because then she quits and, like, fully breaks the mind of this protagonist girl. And that is around the midpoint of the movie. And that is when we fork, because Mind Broken Girl, in the way this movie was supposed to be written, the way that this script would, like, naturally progress, if they allowed the darkness to continue, would be that the protagonist girl seeks a way to overcome her mind brokenness and is groomed into taking the doping medicine and becomes a doped up racehorse, which is tying back into the darker parts of horse racing itself in a fucking great way that could actually expand the idea of horse racing girls. It could blow that world up into something that is, like, open to interesting concepts invading it. And that is just a little bit after that is when we establish that, no, this franchise is not allowed to do that. And in fact, near the end of the movie, it actually turns around and mind breaks Agnes Tachyon in a really depressing and sad, truly, genuinely sad to me scene where Agnes abandons her entire premise. She abandons her entire reason for existence and, as the movie says, gives in to the biological deterministic drive to race. That is framed as triumphant in the movie, but to me is deeply, deeply tragic.
Well, okay, I understand where you're coming from. I think that the crux of what you don't like about it is this, assertion that it is rooted, this concept is rooted in biological determinism. I can see the argument for that because I like joy and fun things and, like, enjoying myself. I choose not to see it that way. And so actually I think that you're wrong and you're just being a spoil sport.
I am not wrong. Because they say it over and over again in this movie. They say, wow, it's almost like it's built into our biology that we want to do this.
No, you're absolutely right. And it's one of the things that I agree. I don't like it about Uma Musume conceptually. And I've thought way too much about this. I'm saying this on mic that I've thought a lot about Uma Musume, more than I'm comfortable with. To be honest. And I'm like, okay, I fundamentally am off-put by this franchise, but there's something in there. There's something mixed in there that it's like, I see, like you were saying, I see the bones. I see the structure of what could be, like, something much better. And I try and think about, like, what could...
Or more interesting, at least.
More interesting. And it's like, what can we change to make it closer to that ideal? I think the first thing would be, ditching the concept of, like, this... And it's a franchise catchphrase. Uma Musume were born to run. That is, like, something that they print on merch.
Yeah, Springsteen much?
Yeah. Hey, did you see that? You see that movie with Jeremy Allen White where he plays Springsteen yet?
No, but I saw the cut scene, the scene they cut with Jeremy Strong where he gives the insane speech about the hole in the ground. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
Anyway, I would get rid of that concept entirely. I would get rid of trainers. The concept that that
deeply weird.
Yeah.
Deeply weird that
Deeply
there's
weird.
like old weird dudes whose entire like thing is that they take like these girls and like physically condition them into achieving their biological destiny.
If we had to keep the concept of trainer around, wouldn't it make more sense for them to be like older retired Uma Musume?
Yes, it would. It would. But, like, you can't do that because that's not part of the traditional sports genre. You have to have the dude from Rocky. It's like they cannot think past that, right?
Well, it's even weirder than that because when you're playing the phone app, you are the old retired dude from Rocky.
You are the old weird guy.
Yeah. Like,
and
that's
you probably
your
are,
character.
you old weird freak.
I would get rid of that entirely. You know, to its credit, from just looking at what I've seen, the concept of gambling money on the horse races does not exist in the world of Uma Musume. All of the fans...
also conspicuously absent. Why do they care so much?
In this world, it is just genuinely taken for granted that everyone is really, really into, you know, the spectacle sport of horse racing.
Yeah, NASCAR is the world sport instead of soccer.
Yeah. And obviously I would cut the entire like idol goal of all the racing.
Yeah, awful. It's weird.
Cut that out completely. And so this actually brings me to a point I wanted to make. I genuinely think that I enjoyed, and I turned my brain off for most of it, I'll admit that. I enjoyed 90% of this movie, right? And I was super excited. Like, they're going to do it. They're going to go this entire movie without doing the stupid idol concert thing. And then, no, obviously they end it with a big stadium.
A literal idol performance.
A literal packed stadium idol performance.
With the glow sticks and all that shit.
With all of it. And that's when I was like, okay, I skipped it. I turned it off then. I did not watch the rest of the idol performance.
I did watch that, and it completely baffled me because I was not aware that this was a literal thing. I was sitting there watching it. I thought, this is like so is this like metaphorical? Is this just like a thing that they're doing like over the credits or whatever? I was not aware that this was literally a thing, that they do this like half-ass TikTok dance performance, like canonically in the world. I thought that was just like for us at home.
No, that's canon. That is the entire goal of the racing, is that at the end, if you run real good enough, then you get to be a pop idol. And it's like nationally funded and endorsed.
Yeah, and they're not very good at it. Like the dance they do is comically bad.
Yeah,
it's really bad. They suck.
Well, you know, I think that one of
their
the
song
things
sucks too.
I think that one of the things that Cinderella Grey, you know, did that I genuinely thought was kind of funny was that it goes deep into the fact that there are horse girls who neither aspire to race nor aspire to be a pop idol, and in fact are like bad at singing. And I thought that was, you know, after everything, I thought that was an appreciated exploration of the world. I thought that was kind of interesting.
It was at least a branching idea that tries to explore part of the questions, because this raises this entire concept, much like Cars, which I think is the most direct comparison to this entire idea.
No, you're right. You're right. Uma Musume is the world of Cars, but with horse girls instead of cars.
But humans are for some reason still there in Uma Musume. It raises... The problem with Cars is that it raises too many distracting questions. And the problem with Uma Musume, for anybody who's not like jerking off to these girls, is that it raises too many weird questions.
Well, the film itself raises the biggest question of all, is that, like we said, it goes into the actual like physiology. Like, horse girls are a different species from human.
They are a different species.
They have superhuman abilities, you know. And it's explicitly laid out that they have a different cardiovascular system than humans.
And bone and leg muscle structure.
Despite
the fact that none of these girls have muscular legs, by the way, which is a really bizarre thing. They're all dainty and petite girls. None of them have fucking like killer thighs, right?
Well, no, that's not true. That's Gold Ship. Look up that character model.
I'm not going to do that. Not doing that.
We get the cliche like sports movie training montage sequence, and our main character is like pulling a giant like earth mover construction equipment tire along the beach.
Yeah, she's doing Rocky. Yeah, they're all doing Rocky constantly, but it's like horse girl Rocky, which means the tire is huge.
It's huge. They casually pan over her doing leg lifts that are 650 kilograms, which is a lot. Yeah, I'm told. I don't speak European numbers.
I think it's a pretty big one.
So yeah, I don't know. There are a lot of issues that are brought up, and they haven't nearly explored any of them enough, and they're never going to. Obviously, there's too much money on the line.
It's too weird that they're all young girls. None of them are male horses, even though a lot of these race horses are in fact male.
The fact that they're all horse girls is probably the most egregious one. There's no logicking around that, especially since half of the horses that they get their names from were male horses in real life.
How are these horse girls born? Where do they come from?
Well, if we're to take the intro video at its word, it seems that there's just like a random chance of any girl child being born as a horse girl. It's just like a random. Yeah, it's a literal gotcha pull.
They come from humans.
Yes.
So two humans have sex and procreate, and there's just a random chance that the baby inside the womb is replaced by a horse.
That is my understanding of it, yeah.
That is horrifying. That is fucking... Did you watch Lamb? The Rooney Mara movie? This is Lamb. That's Lamb.
At the end of all of this, the horse-headed god is going to come back and reclaim all of their souls.
Take vengeance upon the disgusting humans who groomed their pan-human children into being sports slaves.
Lamb was another weird movie about biological determinism. If we're looking into it,
I fucking loved Lamb. That's such a good movie. That's a movie that raises a bunch of uncomfortable questions and then pays out.
Oh yeah, it pays out with dividends at the end.
It's so good. I wish just once there would be an Musume Lamb. That would be fucking great.
I'm constantly reminded of the freaky mutant horse people at the end of Sorry to Bother You. I think about that all the time,
I think about it all the time.
I think about it all the time.
Yeah, the problem is if you don't answer these questions or at least nod your head towards them, the only actual answer anybody can come to is that it's just pandering like fetish shit. They're horse girls because that's what people want to jack off to. That's it. That's the only answer that they can truly give you.
Well, it's the implicit answer that hangs in the air. Yeah. No one's ever just going to say it, though. And if you do just say it, people are going to either blow it off as a joke or they're going to think that you're like a weird... They're going to, performatively think that you're a weird creep. And they go, no.
They're going to get defensive.
I'm not... Well, you think that this is like fetish shit? No, I'm in it for the love of the game. I just am really invested in these characters. I'm just having fun.
Which is one of those nefarious things, too, which is like, no, I just think they're cute. I just like cute things, which is like one of the dominant strains of this exact kind of phenomenon, right?
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's not weird in any way. I just like cute girls.
No, that is weird. That is weird.
I like cute girls, as if that is like a thing. It's like, what are you talking about?
Hey, I like cool things.
I just like cool things.
I like checking out cool things.
You know what's cool is like cool things, and I like them. There's no like dimensionality to that. There's nothing beyond that. It's not a gate towards a deeper explanation. It's simply that cool things are good, and I like them. Cute girls are cute, and I think that's cool, and I like them. I like that they're cute, and I like cute things. Oh, okay, dude. All right, sure. I guess I'll stop asking questions now. This shit is so nefarious. And the thing that prevents me from ultimately liking this movie, besides the fact that like we could only say anything interesting about the first half of the movie, because again, the second half is literally just, hey, the main character has like a psychological block that prevents her from being the best in the world, and then she magically overcomes it by wanting to be fast. Like that's it. That's the rest of the movie. It gives up on every possible thing, including like even the most generic anime shit, and just does the rest of the sports thing, ignoring the first half of the movie. But it doesn't matter because, like we said, there is fundamental questions that are raised that cannot be answered. And in absence of that, the only thing left standing is the stuff that I find truly and inherently rancid about the project to begin with, which is it's a child gambling app for like weird jerk-offs. And horse gambling is so nefarious and evil, and gambling right now is on such an upturn in like every aspect of our consumer culture. It is like a product within itself now, that like trying to divorce horse racing, of all things, horse racing, from gambling is one of the most insidious and insane things that you could possibly come up with right now. And that is what this movie is about. It's about creating plausible deniability for horse gambling. And that is rancid. That is evil. It's like modern evil. It's like actually evil. So yes, Uma Musume is evil, and this movie is like ontologically incapable of good. So yeah, it's bad. But you know what? It would have saved itself if, like we said before, if it had subverted those ideas and truly gone down like the horse doping path, like the movie was clearly setting up for at the beginning, and at least tried to shed a little bit of light on the darkness of this entire concept. That would have been a good thing. I mean, it still would have been Uma Musume, so again, ontologically incapable of good, but it would have at least been heading in the right direction.
You know,
But yes, some of the animation was good.
You know, sometimes I just like to enjoy things, you know? Can't I just have fun? Isn't it okay to just have fun? Why are you always trying to put me down just for having fun? Like, come on.
Well, you could have fun with like things that aren't evil.
Actually,
you could do that.
Technically, you can't. You know, I've looked into it. You know, we've run the numbers, and you can't actually have fun without committing a little bit of evil. That's
you have
actually
to do a little bit of evil.
That's scientifically proven now. Like we figured it out.
I always thought you were Catholic, but I guess you're Protestant.
Oh man.
I think it's such an incredible thing to be like the defense whenever you're like the thing you're doing is like it's wrong and bad, like just on its face, and people are like, well, I'm just trying to have fun.
No, that's what I was getting at.
That's crazy.
Okay, my honest feelings about the movie is I mostly picked it because I thought it would be funny to make you watch it and talk about it. And it was. I got that. I got my goal. Like, I accomplished my task. But overall, I was just hearing some good things, that it was a high quality, like big production animation, which I enjoy watching. I'm in agreement with you. I think fundamentally Uma Musume is bad. It is a weird, bad thing that exists, and it is sane-washing gambling for a generation of children who are never going to have money to begin with. Let's be honest. And it is a fundamental net negative in the world. But if you turn your brain off, some pretty pictures to look at, and I am a sucker for I am a huge sucker for the shonen protagonist overcoming difficult odds and going beyond their limit shtick.
You like watching other people do that. You personally, you'll never do that. You're not interested in doing that. But as long as it's somebody else.
No, I'm completely ambivalent about that. Like I said, I've given up. I've given up on trying to, at least in the realm of physical sports, trying to overcome anybody. That's not my thing,
Sure.
But man, when you put it in the strappings of a shonen anime, it hits me. It hits me in a weird sentimentality kind of spot.
Why not?
Yeah. There you go. I had fun watching it, and that is probably a poor reflection on myself.
It definitely is. It's like I've gone out of my way to do something that's like bad. Okay. Well, we need to counterbalance this now. So since you just like sprung this on me, I will say we need to watch Yasuhiro Aoki's Chow.
Okay. Oh, you're giving me homework now?
Yes. If this is what we're gonna do, it's time. We need to like actually watch something better, or at least to offset this. Studio 4C produced a movie by Yasuhiro Aoki called Chow or Chao. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. This came out in Japan, I think, last year. It's really weird. It is not based on any kind of gambling app. It is. It's not an anime adaptation. It's not a manga adaptation. This is a completely original work. It has a unique art style. It has a fantastic fucking trailer. You can go ahead and like watch that right now. I urge you to do so.
I have actually seen the trailer for this.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can. I will watch this for next time to make up for this horrible thing I inflicted on you.
Yes. I just to fucking balance this shit out in some way, like morally, I guess. Let's watch Chow, which was seemed like probably one of the best anime movies in a while, maybe since Inuo. I want to say is like at least looks like the most interesting anime movie since Inuo.
Inuo was pretty good.
Inuo is so fucking great.
Really good.
It's so great.
It's so beautiful.
So let's do that. Okay.
All right.
Let's clear our system by watching something actually interesting.
Palate cleanser. I can do
that. All right.
Okay. Well, we've talked about Musume for about an hour now. Are you at your limit?
I don't think I can ever talk about Musume again without losing my shit.
I think we've said everything we need to say about it.
Yeah, it's honestly even like, don't watch this movie.
No, go. You should watch the movie.
It's bad. Don't watch it.
Watch the movie.
Don't watch it, man.
Watch the movie.
Oh,
you'll have a fun time. You'll have a fun time.
Oh, God damn it.
All right, handsome, beautiful, tall listeners, thank you once again for putting up with us. Go do the stuff. Follow us on YouTube, like, subscribe, TikTok. We're on Blue Sky.
Watch Chow.
Yeah, watch Chow. Watch it with us. We'll have a viewing party.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We're going to put the URL link up on our Patreon. Yeah, we'll get right around to that. Anyway, do all the stuff, and we will see you next week when we talk about Chow and not Musume. Bye.
This year I'm making this resolution where I'm gonna like pay attention to cool stuff. I think I'm gonna be interested. I'm gonna be interested in cool stuff this year. This year I think I'm gonna be like into cool stuff.